My name is Sarah Seiler, and I graduated with my PhD in July of 2025 from Antioch University School of Leadership and Change. Thank you for joining me for this brief summary overview of my dissertation entitled Psychological Safety and Belonging in High-Risk Search and Rescue Teams, a Mixed Method Study. I pursued this research because I saw a disconnect between what I believe leadership should be and what I was experiencing in my professional life. As someone deeply committed to working with teams through human-centered leadership, I was drawn to explore the ideas of psychological safety and organizational belonging, especially after joining a volunteer wilderness search and rescue team. SAR became a place of healing for me, and I began to wonder what makes people feel safe to speak up in high-risk volunteer environments? What helps them to feel like they truly belong? My study gave me a way to explore those questions through the voices of real team members. It was a way to understand how leadership and team practices shape culture and how small changes can make a big impact. Psychological safety is the most heavily researched of the topics. Psychological safety describes a person's belief that one can take an interpersonal risk, such as speaking out with an alternative idea or reporting a failure within one's workplace, without fear of negative consequences. Speaking up, collaborative learning, and increased performance are established outcomes. Organizational belonging can be described as feeling valued and accepted by others while having a connection within the group, and has been shown to increase performance and intent to stay. There is little research about the culture of search and rescue teams. The sample for this study included volunteers of wilderness or backcountry search and rescue teams in the United States. The teams were comprised primarily of volunteers, and most of the missions were in sparsely populated areas. Of the 482 cases analyzed, 34% were women, 90% were white, ages ranged from 18 to 83 years, and SAR experience ranged from less than 1 year to 59 years. I conducted a mixed methods phenomenological study. In phenomenology, the voices of the participants are at the forefront. Since this is mixed methods, I will combine the quantitative and qualitative data to show the integrated insights. The quantitative data revealed that men and members of only one team reported feeling more safe. Enablers of psychological safety in the qualitative data included feeling heard, team openness, leader encouragement, and feeling respected. Barriers to safety include intimidation, closed-mindedness, and a lack of fairness. And with the integrated insights, we see that being in the majority, having longevity, trust, support, and continuous improvement enhance psychological safety. For organizational belonging, some of the results were similar. In the quantitative analysis, men and members of only one team felt more belonging. In the qualitative research, enablers of belonging include feeling needed, meaningful participation, and valuing everyone. Barriers to belonging included the presence of an in versus an out group, favoritism, and egos. The integrated insights are that being in the majority, having a strong team culture, fairness, and equity enhance feelings of belonging. So both after-action reviews, after missions, and team leader coaching influence team learning behavior. Team learning behavior is a well-known antecedent to psychological safety. So what does this tell us? It tells us that practices like coaching and structured debriefs will help build a culture of learning. That learning in turn helps people feel more connected and included. And when people feel they belong, they're more likely to feel psychologically safe. Organizational belonging was found to be a mediator between team learning behavior and psychological safety. And a mediator tells us how or why this impact occurs. These connections show how we can create a stronger, safer team culture by starting with simple, intentional acts. There's an easier way to think of this. So, if you want to transition from team learning behavior to psychological safety, you are required to cross the bridge of organizational belonging. Overall, volunteers are very happy with their teams. Common words used to describe their experiences are respected, knowledge, helping, friendships and family, purpose, and love. Through the participants' words in the qualitative analysis, I've been able to develop 5 guiding principles for building and sustaining psychological safety and organizational belonging. The first is navigate with intention. Second, start small, act often. Then embrace every voice, weave connection, and finally, reflect inward. So what does this all mean in practice? This research sheds light on specific behaviors that help teams become more reliable, especially in high-risk, high-stakes environments. Organizational belonging is like the oxygen that allows psychological safety to breathe. And with that oxygen, psychological safety becomes the lifeblood that flows through and sustains a high reliability team. Chapter 5 includes a deeper explanation of the guiding principles as well as the model of high reliability teams. Thank you so much for your time. Please check out my dissertation and contact me if you want to talk more. Have a great day.